Good morning, kids. You join me today from the top of the Priory. Don't drop your phone, don't drop your phone. All right, you lot, so a bit of a weird one today. A few weeks ago, I got drawn out of the workshop onto a side quest. Now, I just want to give you guys a little bit of context here. So the cathedral here at Lincoln isn't just the cathedral, it's the cathedral and the surrounding properties. So on the cathedral estate, there are over 80 historic properties, arches, buildings, houses that are owned by the cathedral. And as the works team here, we don't just work on the cathedral. Sometimes we have to go and work on these historic buildings, these houses and properties and stuff. And some of our work can be quite reactive, like a couple of weeks ago, when we turned up to work on a Monday and noticed that the chimney, the stone chimney on the roof of the Priory, was no longer on the roof of the Priory, it was through the roof of the Priory. So that's what this video is. This video is me showing you the state of the chimney on the Priory roof. It's a bit of a bodged building, it's kind of a little bit medieval, a little bit early modern, a little bit Victorian, but there's also a bit of Roman wall inside there, and one day I will make a video inside the Priory showing you guys how cool this building is. But luckily it's empty. Now we have to replace a chimney, which is quite exciting because I don't get to do many chimneys because we don't have many on the cathedral, funnily enough. So this video is going to be some setting out, some geometry, just showing you guys the process that we have to go through when creating our templates for exciting new stones. One more thing, as always, all of my footage is in portrait because I'm rubbish, and a lot of my old footage from before I started taking YouTube seriously in the last couple of months, I filmed for the other apps, so it's all in portrait for now. But going forward, I am going to start filming all of my new stuff in landscape, I promise. I know it's annoying, it would annoy me too, but this is just what we're dealing with, guys. Right, let's build a chimney. Good morning, kids. You join me today from the top of the Priory. So, cathedral over there. This building here is the Priory, and these are our workshops. So that window right there is my window next to my banker. This is the joiner's yard, and this used to be an intact chimney. Don't drop your phone, don't drop your phone. So the goal today is to set out what this chimney should be. So I'm going to set it out and make the template so that it can be replaced. But it's been pretty bodged, as you can tell. There's a lot of bricks going on. Yeah. Also, the trick is to not drop any of my tools down the chimney. Let's go. Okay, so I am back up in my drawing room. Don't know if you can hear me over the sound of the scaffolders. They're out there dismantling. But got myself some measurements, did myself a little top bed sketch, a few measurements, and brought a piece of the chimney. This bit fell through the roof, so managed to rescue one of the bits that fell through the roof, and I've brought it up here so I can take all my measurements from this rather than doing it on site, which is handy. Just gotta draw it now. Right, you lot, pay attention. So we know that the bottom bed is a regular octagon. So we know the internal angle is going to be 135. I know that the length of one of the sides is 245. So we can figure out the internal radius, the external radius. So I'm going to use the external radius to draw a big circle and then create my octagon inside that circle. I don't know why I'm whispering either. This is my church voice. So knowing that this is a regular octagon, knowing the length of one side, which will be the same as every side, and knowing the internal angles are all the same, it means I'm able to calculate what the radius of a circle would be that would encompass this entire octagon. So by drawing a circle that big, dividing it up into 8 equal parts and then joining the lines where those parts intersect that circle, I can create an octagon that is the exact size of the shaft of our chimney, and that's what I'm doing here. You'll notice that I regularly place the piece of plastic with the top bed mould that I quickly sketched on site, taken directly from the stones. I lay that over the top of my drawing periodically, just to make sure that it's definitely still accurate and will match what is on site. Now, while I draw everything out in pencil, and that is all my working lines, the final lines that are going to be used to take templates to recreate this chimney, I do like to put down in ink. So I have ink bows for all of my beam compasses and all of my equipment. I'm a big fan of hand inking drawings. I think it's really satisfying, and I just think it makes it look a lot neater and a lot easier to then take templates from that drawing. You don't get confused by seeing lots of little pencil working lines going on. I'm also very good at nearly knocking ink bottles over. You'll also notice that this internal circle, the inside of the chimney, I'm doing in a broken line. That's because I'm going to be drawing this in black and red. The black templates will represent one set of stones and the red templates will represent a second set of stones. So I'm doing this as an alternating black and red line so that I know that this one line represents two sets of stones. Okay, you lot, pay attention. I'm only going to say this once and I hope you can hear me because I'm in the church, so I'm using my church voice. Here we are, this is the chimney, so we've got black lines for top bed and bottom bed of what is essentially the shaft. Then the red lines are the top bed of the collar, the top of the chimney, which has crenellations and steps out, so that's why it's wider. And then the chimney is actually kind of crenellated, but the crenellations go round the corners. So I've had to do a kind of top bed section for each crenellation, which will kind of fit all the way around. I've only needed to draw it once because it can just be replicated. And then a face mould, which has the kind of half on that side, and then it will be mirrored to match that side down the centre line. So that can be applied to the face, so the check can be cut out for the crenellation. And then this represents the sort of chamfer detail, which is represented here in purple, so that's the section. Conveniently, it was a 90-degree chamfer, so that's nice and easy, with a little 15mm kind of soffit in there, which is invisible when you're face on. So I hope that makes sense. That's the bell, so that means it's my lunchtime. So that was it. I hope some of you found that a little bit interesting. I know it's just a drawing of a chimney, but we do it all by hand. It just demonstrates how we use geometry and draw everything out by hand still. We don't use any CAD, we don't use any 3D modelling or any of that nonsense. It's all done the good old-fashioned way with pen and ink on paper. We make our templates and eventually we're going to rebuild that chimney, so there will be a part 2, probably in a few months because things take time in cathedral world. I've got a few exciting videos coming up. I'm trying to make some longer videos. I am trawling back through all of my footage of all my cathedral building escapades, and I've got a few longer videos in the pipeline. This is the bit where I'm supposed to say like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that, but you don't have to if you don't want to. That's cool too. Okay, let's go to work.